In this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, the very first round of the brand new Chunin exams are finally over, and our brand new participants are getting ready to journey to Hidden Sand Village and have a big, badass ninja tournament. But this week's episode really wasn't all that exciting.
I don't even know what to say, Corey. In some ways, I'm super not entertained by this episode. Other ways, I'm glad it's over and excited about next week. But this episode, in and of itself, did not excite me that much. It was a more numbers game, more how are we going to communicate, and they just kind of hung on that just a touch too long. The part that was the most interesting to me was that Danzo talking about how Hanzo is no longer reaching out to him.
Now, you see, that's the most least interesting thing.
To you?
To me.
See, I like the politics.
Because there's no point to it. We already know all of this. Now we're just getting to see other characters react to the fact that maybe Hidden Rain has been taken over, which it has by Pain. But, you know, it's like, this is information we don't need. Like, it doesn't really expand on the story. It just lets us know that, oh, other characters knew about this.
Well, it's kind of showing this is, as you say, it's suffering from prequelitis because we know what's going to happen. But I think it's interesting that Danzo had an intuition to tell the Hokage that, by the way, the Hidden Rain people are probably bad too. And I find that interesting.
What is kind of cool about that, though, and now that I do think about it, it probably will tie into that one Hidden Rain ninja who's going to be the next Pain body.
Yes.
She's probably going to end up being very important, and probably going to be really important when they get to the actual tournament portion of the Chunin exam, which is what I'm really looking forward to seeing, because a lot of these people from the other villages have some really crazy designs and they look like they're going to have some cool abilities, and I can't wait to see them use them. And the prospect of them going on this big race journey to Hidden Sand means they might actually get into fights with each other on their way, so I think that's going to be really awesome. But the thing about this episode is I feel like they should have made it a part of last week's episode.
Yeah, like got it all in there.
Yeah, they should have been able to fit all of that in there. They should have cut down the explanation, because the first, like, 10 minutes of the episode is all just numbers and chibi versions of Naruto characters, and ultimately it's very similar to the very first Chunin exam, where there's actually a twist where really all of the questions don't really mean anything. It's really all about that final question which Shikamaru gives them, where he asks all of them to choose a member of their team and put it on the back of the paper, and as long as they all write down the same thing, they're all going to pass. Everything's going to be fine. Now, some of the people take this literal. Some of the people literally try to choose a team member to basically throw under the bus, and some of them do that, but others realize, wait a minute, they didn't say that we didn't have to choose any of our members at all, as long as we write down the same answer. So you have teams like Neji, Tenten, Rock Lee. They decided to all write down the same answer, which is none of their teammates, where you have that other group of Hidden Sand Ninja, that one douchebag who's competing with Neji, where they're punching the wall, which was the most action-packed part of this week's chapter, which sucks when you have a ninja just punching a wall, but they lost because they outed one of their teammates, and they're now going to be eliminated, which is kind of a shame, because I really wanted to see that guy get his ass handed to him by Neji, but my theory is, as they're heading to Hidden Sand Village, he is going to intercept them, and they're going to have a battle.
There's definitely, I think they're not going to just get to Hidden Sand and fight in the, what do they call that desert?
The Demon Desert, or whatever they're calling it.
Here desert? Yeah. They're going to fight there, and I also really like that, you know, Neji may be really smart, but, you know, let's see how good he is at taking a spike to the chest. You know, let's just see how that...
a big fucking spiked log to the chest. Let's see how he's gonna deal with that.
Obviously, Neji is a vampire.
Yeah.
It takes him out every time.
It makes you feel less bad about his death when you think about it that way. Otherwise, this week's episode was just kind of meh. It's basically just the build-up for the next portion of the exam. It still bothers me that we have all these unique-looking new characters, which they're not expanding on at all. I think this would have been the perfect opportunity to do that. Cut down the explanation, have them run through the forest, have some battles, introduce some brand new characters, in particular the one guy with the pompadour.
Show some new abilities. Fuck Neji and his Byakugan, I want some new stuff.
This is the opportunity to show us new stuff, and they didn't really do it that much.
No.
Was this a bad episode? No, it was just kind of slow and a little boring and a little heavy-handed in terms of the explanation. However, I did like the twist to the exam. It is very similar to the very first Chunin exam. However, I'm really excited because the next part is going to take place in Hidden Sand, and that's completely different from the original Chunin exam. We're going from the Forest of Death to the Demon Desert, and hopefully they're going to do something really fun with it. So, this week's episode for me was very average, but personally, it bored me a little bit. So I am going to give this week's episode a 2 out of 5. Not the greatest score in the world. Some people might enjoy it more than me. To some, it might be a perfect 5 out of 5. But I just really wasn't all that entertained.
I like the strategy in Naruto. I think that's what makes this series the most interesting, because the characters, you know, until the end of the series, they're not the most powerful. You know, they can't blow up planets and stuff like DBZ. They don't get to power up and wipe away landscapes until the end. So the strategy is really important and central to Naruto. But like you said, it was heavy-handed and slow. And to me, that does make a bad episode. You said it wasn't, but I think that does make a bad episode. And it's just a lot of fluff we have to go through. And I'm okay with build-up episodes, I am. But I felt like this didn't build up to anything that's making me excited about next week, except knowing that there will hopefully be some fights next week. But this episode didn't help me get excited for the ones coming up. So I'm going to say 2 out of 5 as well.
So really, this is an episode we can only recommend for the most hardcore of Naruto fans who simply cannot miss an episode.
So yeah, you guys, that's what we thought. 2 out of 5 for both of us. So if you did enjoy our lackluster negative review of this episode, it wasn't that negative, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you can. And we also have a Facebook and a Twitter, and if you want to donate directly to the channel, you can do that through PayPal. And we have an Amazon associate link that you can click to. It'll send you to Amazon. You can just buy your stuff as normal, and it helps us out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, Super Kami Guru 9000 out.
Sorry for ripping Naruto a new one this week, guys. Just sometimes you get a shitty episode.